Hello, hello, hello. You are tuning in to another episode of The Wunderkind Show. Today's topic, more Raven-induced Lamar Jackson drama. So, I'm going to go into this one, and it's going to be kind of swift, but pretty knowledgeable what's been, taking place in the past couple days. So, there were reports being documented or reported on that Lamar Jackson was actively missing rehabbing and also being a slacker of a player. Meaning the Ravens were doing this is the picture that they were trying to paint. The Ravens are a perfect organization. Lamar Jackson has been a problem. He started off as a problem and he's become a bigger problem than the Ravens can handle. Because even in injury, he does not cooperate to help him get better and help the team move forward. Even thus so far that a 105.7, I believe, radio station reported that and tweeted that, yeah, they might be wrong on this one, but definitely last year he was not showing up. So this has been an ongoing thing that they're trying to, a paper trail, as some might say. Leaving and trying to make narratives to sway public opinion. Now, what we have today, Mike Preston came out yesterday, I believe it was yesterday, and stated that, yes, once again, Lamar Jackson was not attending any of his rehabs. He was being extremely difficult and hard to work with. That's what he reported, okay? He then follows today with another conflicting report that Lamar Jackson has missed no practices when it's come to his rehab, and he's also been working extremely hard, like John Harbaugh did say in his other press, even though he doesn't tell us anything, and that Lamar Jackson is looking on being back around 4 to 6 weeks because it's a grade 2 PCL strain, which is a 4 to 6 week injury. So that takes us to now. This goes out to all the people on Twitter, YouTube, social media. Stop posting people that are not Lamar Jackson or John Harbaugh. They all want clicks. And honestly, I think that this is the Ravens pushing some of this, if not all of it. Because here's the thing. The Ravens can put a pin into the balloon as soon as these things go up. But they don't. They let it fester. They let it take hold of the fan base. Because the fan base is only doing what they hear. They're only going by what you hear and what you see. If these are reputable people covering the team, and they are saying these things, they're saying, well, where are they getting it from? Where are they getting this information from? Do y'all remember when Skip Bayless came out and said it was an offense, and he doubled down and said an offensive player came and told him on the record, not off the record, on the record. So this is the Ravens' fault. Make no mistake about it. Is Mike Preston hard to deal with? Yes. Is he annoying? Yes. Does he write some foolish things about our QB? Yes, he does. But this is pushed by the Ravens. You know what I think happened to Mike Preston? And I could be reaching on this. I think Lamar Jackson's lawyers got in contact with him and said, excuse me, I have proof that I've been to every single one of my rehab sessions. That's defamation of character. Sue! And you know what he heard? He heard that backhand from his editor, chief editor, go, oh, you better put out the right stuff, boy. It's crazy. It really is, because you beg. Listen, even people like Mike Preston. Mike Preston's been doing this from the time Lamar's came out. You have a quarterback that epitomizes the look and feeling of Baltimore. Not Maryland, but Baltimore. He is great with the children. He's good with the coaching staff. He's good in the media. And you guys have done nothing but try to tear down his image from the time he stepped foot on the gridiron. And you wonder why you're getting such blowback. And the funny thing is, the same Mike Preston, his chief editor, the one that, gave him the backhand, has now on Twitter put out and asking for DMs for Mike Preston's position. So he's about to be out of a job. Is this a way for him to stay relevant? It could be. It could be. But I think that he's back. Because here's the thing. Very rarely, even if someone doesn't like somebody, do they come out with reports that aren't or doesn't have substantiated, background in the story. Very rarely do you see that happen in media. Very rarely. It's very rare. Why do you think so many people trust TMZ? TMZ has been, we don't like TMZ. But when TMZ says it, everyone's like, hey, but it might be right, bro. Because they substantiate whatever information comes their way, they substantiate it. That's why. So this is why I place the blame on the Ravens. Because if the Ravens were forthcoming about information, hey, look, it's a grade 2 PCL tear. Hopefully he'll be back in 3 weeks, but it's looking more like a 5 to 6 week, rehab process. And, we really wish we had our number one guy out there, but we're just going to have to rally around the plays that we have and try our best to sustain our great level of play. So when he comes back, he'll be able to take off and ready to take us to the promised land. That's how you address a question asking about Lamar Jackson's injury, but they don't do that. They beat around the bush. Everything is secretive when it doesn't. I understand not saying everything, but there's no competitive advantage for you knowing this. There's none. There is none. I don't want to hear, but they'll think they were going against Lamar, they're going against. So you think it's a competitive advantage for people to think, we're going against Lamar, but we're really going against Huntley? Come on now, bro. Stop the cap. Stop the cap. There's been enough tape on Lamar for years. Do you really think, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's why a lot of times I say what I say about, the Ravens doing a chop job when it's come to Lamar. You could tell that they've never had a star at this caliber on this team. You can see it. They don't know how to handle it. They're looking around like, da, 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 da. Bruh. And they look at us like, hey, we never had a player like this. You just got to, be patient with us. No, we're not going to be patient with you. You're professionals. It's very sad, though, to see that this is what all of this has come to, right? Because let's just say, for the sake of argument, that Mike Preston was working as a singular agent, just spreading false narratives about Lamar, right? Then the team could have stopped those narratives as soon as they came out because they're the team. They could have went to the chief editor and been like, hey, these are lies. Why is he lying about our star quarterback? And then addressed it publicly. So that tells me that the Ravens have a hand in it. I don't think Mike Preston was lying. I think somebody in the organization told him those things. The problem is that I'm thinking that Lamar Jackson said no. No. If I got to wake up 7 o'clock, come to these rehabs, y'all going to say I'm not coming? Hear from my lawyer. And I feel like the lawyer said, if there's not a printed retraction or so, you will be hearing or seeing us in person in front of a judge. And they said, nope, don't want that. And Mike Preston went and changed it up. And it's very funny. As soon as that happened, Mike Preston's job was up. Literally, within hours. It's sad, It really is, because they've fumbled this. The easiest thing you could do in the NFL is to retain a star QB. Because the hardest thing is to get one. Like, that's the hardest thing. We're not talking about a top 15 QB. No, we're talking about a top 3 QB. That's the easiest thing in the NFL to do right now. If you have one, you retain them because they don't grow on trees. They're hard to come by. Very hard to come by. And we've seen already what this team looks like without him. So my thing is, if you know that it's a problem, if you know it's difficult to find these things, get to working. Get that deal hammered out. The deal should have been hammered out in year 3. We're on year 5. That's why all this stuff is coming. That's why it's being reported at the length that it is. And you listen. And the funniest part is, you can see the frustration on Harbaugh's face. Harbaugh be looking at him like, every time a Lamar Jackson question comes up, yeah, go ahead and ask your question. I know what you're going to ask. Go ahead and ask it. But John, why do you look bothered? Do I really look bothered to you? I really look bothered to you? Ask the question so I can give you a non-responsive answer. But John, we're just trying to ask a question about your star QB. I only talk about the players that are here. And if you don't know, now you know. That's how he's been coming at everybody, asking him questions. And he has not been cordial, to say that his whole facial expression changes as soon as Lamar, God, him again. Now, look, I can get it'll be frustrating talking about a player. But once again, when you have a player to that caliber, the media is going to question things. Chiefs go through it with Patrick Mahomes. Buffalo goes through it with Josh Allen. And New England went through it with Tom Brady. The Colts went through it with Peyton Manning. Do you remember when the Peyton Manning fiasco with his neck and everything was going on? Woo! Or the Andrew Luck stuff? Woo! Because that's what the league is built on now. QBs. That's why they're so protected. That's why. So that's why it's frustrating watching this whole thing unfold, because it's just like you're adding to the drama. Instead of saying, let's quell the talking and stuff like that. Let's quell the media. Hey, Lamar, can you go out and say, hey, you're at rehab, you're trying. You can work. Like, there's so many different ways you can go about doing this. There's no way they could be this foolish to let this stuff spread. That's why people like myself, people like an Ing Raven, the people like LBHT, that's why they're saying, this is fueled by Baltimore, because they have the ability to quiet all of the doubt. But they refuse. They refuse. In attempts to either bring down his worth or to drop clues and drop hints that they're not the ones at fault. It's all him. So when we move away from him, you guys can see that he was the problem all along and it was never us. And you guys should still root and spend your money here for us as we try to work through this very turbulent time because, Lamar Jackson left. Sickening. Absolutely deplorably sickening, to say the least. And you know what makes it even worse? What makes it even worse? And this is hilarious to me. This is actually very funny to me. That all the facts of the importance of Lamar Jackson has not only been on Front Street, but it's been substantiated by the fact that your offense has been nothing less than putrid, including your play calling. And it's been out there for the world to see. So as some people would think, oh, he's losing money with this injury, his value have actually went up. That's a bar. His value has went up. So for all of your hard-earned hating to try to diminish the image that is Lamar Jackson, you have just made it shine brighter. And that, my friends, is the funniest part about this entire fiasco. And that was another episode of the Wunderkind Show. Listen, you guys can be anywhere else in the world, but you're here with me, and I thoroughly appreciate that. Please do remember, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. If you would like to donate, look at the QR code at the bottom of the screen, or you can go to the description. Money sign, The Wunderkind Show. And leave comments, please. I love them. I do respond to every single one. But once again, that's another episode of The Wunderkind Show. It's your boy Nitro signing off. And you guys know my slogan. Peace. And I'm out. Like Mike Preston. Yeah!